time. Welcome to the great scuffle that is Ablegamers 2020, The Heats. So we're on square one. Lots of nice metal and expansions and lovely areas to lock down. Moving round to the next planet in the system. The one with the laser has the catalyst nodes, 5 of those, and this planet becomes a Death Star immediately. Without fail. Buy some of those for guys.
That's one thing we haven't seen so far this evening. We've seen a fair few planet smashes. It's been a very smash-heavy evening so far. I've really enjoyed that. But one thing we have not seen in Ablegamers 2020 is a successful firing of the Annihilators. In fact, I don't think I've even seen any players trying to build one yet. Annihilators are part of our game enders for big spender selection towards the bottom of the menu. So once we get past the 25-minute mark, that is when you, the players, as I say again, you, the spectators, the viewers, can get involved and you can start buying units, big units, to end the game for the player of your choice.
Now our players, speaking of, are in. If you want to get some donations going, which I highly suggest you do because that is what this is all about, you can donate for Neon in red because he needs all the donations since his commander has forgotten how to do things. Perhaps Neon is taking a loo break. Moving around to the other side of the South Pole in blue, we've got Nick, or NikolaMX, currently ranked number 1, the best player in PA, often touted, playing as the Legion commander there, going for bots, metal into air. Up onto the north side in green, we have Diskraip, you heard from at the end there, wants everything he can to support, and he's going for bots and vehicles there. Standard 1v1 build there, and perhaps we'll see Orbital later on. Maybe he'll decide to stay on this planet. We'll have to see how that evolves over time. And last, but by no means least, representing France, MarechalGryzzly. Or as we will refer to him, Grizzly, because we are British and we can't speak French.
I mean, I speak a little bit of French, Marshall, but I don't think I would be able to do the pronunciation justice. Neon, meanwhile, seems so confident on his donations that he's just sat there waiting for the 2-minute mark to roll around.
What is he doing? Is he showcasing? I often, perhaps his balance mod has confused him here. What is he doing?
Oh my goodness! I think Neon is just sat waiting for the donations to roll in, folks. Right now, Neon has wasted a good 2 minutes of the game. All the other players have expanded, taken on metal deposits. He has done nothing so far, guys. If you're looking to donate to the underdog right now, Neon is your guy, because he needs some help. I think he needs some help. I think he's... Oh, there we go. That makes a bit more sense now. He's had some connection issues. Okay. That would have been quite amusing. It looks like we may have to do a restart here. He's just disconnected. I think we're going to wait for him to reconnect, and then we're going to start again. So...
And while we do that, let's have a look around the other planets in the system that we didn't get to analysing. We've got, that's no Moon there. A lovely space rock, as you described it, our lumpy space rock of lumpiness. Lots of metal sites on there, no interruptions, a few craters that you can use strategically to give you a good edge in your engagements. Quite literally, an edge. And last, but by no means least, you've got Hello Neighbour, closest to the Sun, and orbits very, very close to stage 1, and has loads of metal on it. We've seen it be the focal point of winners in the last few games, and it's even got a little surprised face there in the volcanoes. What do you want to say about that, Roncat?
I mean, it does look very surprised.
Looks very surprised.
That's the sort of thing you want to see hurtling towards you at high speed, isn't it? You can just imagine putting some Halleys on the opposite side of that planet and making that face plough into your opponent's planet. Exactly like that, Marshall. I couldn't have put it better myself.
I was up all last night practicing that, I'll have you know.
So it looks like Neon is back in the game, and it might be that I'm going to wait for him to, I think, press the resume button. He has typed in back.
Neon preempting Nick with the lag pro gamer excuse there, says Twitch in chat.
So I'm going to go ahead and hit resume, and we're going to see how this goes. Resume has been hit. Let's see what happens.
Sorry,
Neon
but
says
I'm going to
in the
need
chat-
money to catch up now.
You heard it, folks. Neon is in a bad place right now. Everyone else has been expanding. He has not. He's going to need your help just to catch up now with everyone else in this game.
Nick doing some really interesting moves here. He's got the boombot from the Legion, which has this ability. Hop, up it goes. And it can now go and take out those units. But enough number of docks there supporting the expansion. It's going to try and maybe hop up the next one. Possibly not. It can be seen by all the units. And, ooh, hello, maybe not. Ooh, hello, maybe. It's thinking about it. In come a few units there from Nick, trying to take out some of those interceptors. But instead, here's a Marauder. As a light gunship, taking out those fabricators. Nick does not like Grizzly here.
Yeah, poor Grizzly's being really harassed here. Nick's just parked lots of units on his doorstep. Interestingly, you can see he's parked a raiding scout unit right next to his base. And if we look through Nick's eyes right now, what that means is he's got radar coverage of all of Grizzly's base. So he's got some really good intel on what his opponents are up to, which is really, really important in the early game. We're playing on round planets here, as opposed to the conventional square maps that you may be used to playing on real-time strategy games. And that means that you can be attacked from all sides. So in this game, more than any other, the intelligence war, that is finding out where your opponents are, is more crucial than ever. And Nick, being the number one player in PA right now, he is very, very good at making sure he has time and attention to spare, the details like that, and that is what gives him the edge.
Yeah, the scouting, as you say, is so crucial, and you can do a lot of that from the orbit as well. And now we have an orbital launcher from Grizzly. He can think about doing that. He can think about getting off planet first and foremost is generally the idea, especially after the last few games. Hello Neighbor is the place to go. And I reckon he's going to go over there with that fabricator, build a teleporter, and get straight off-world if he can. Donations coming in now. Diskraip receiving a Necromancer. And Neon receiving a Praetorian. That's a nice boost to his early game dance, I think is the only way to describe it, really.
Let's pause again. I think that's Neon disconnected again. Okay, we've paused again. So let's look at what that has changed in this game here. So that is instant access to the second tier. For those not familiar with Planetary Annihilation, there are 2 technology tiers. All players start at the first tier, which gives them access to a basic selection of units. They then need to work to get into the advanced tier of each of the different unit trees. And by doing so, that gives them access to more specialized units, usually bigger, heavier, harder hitting units, which give them the ability to really perform slightly more effective raids in their opponent's bases. And that donation of a Colonel and a Praetorian there, respectively, for the 2 players, gives them instant access to that second tier. Interesting to note, though, only 1 player so far even considering getting off-world at this point.
There are a few coming up in the future, though. Nick has built, or at least is queued up, an orbital launcher there in his base. Diskraip instead, going for the T2, as you mentioned, trying to get up into that advanced tier of units. And the Necromancer he has there is from the Legion faction, which was a community mod which brought an entire new faction of over several hundred units into the game there. But it doesn't allow him to build any additional Legion stuff because it is merely a combat unit. But the Praetorian that Neon got, however, was a production unit, and that will allow him to build not only basic, not only advanced, but also those Legion structures, which have some interesting specialisms.
They do indeed. It looks like Neon has reconnected. The game has restarted, and our puppet masters have been queuing up donations while we've been paused, taking advantage of the opportunity to get to all the donations you guys have been making in the interim. Jurgen PT has asked in the chat, how many years have we been doing this? We have been doing this since 2014. This is, in theory, the 6th year we've been doing it, but it's the 5th tournament because we kind of missed a year because of other commitments. But this is absolutely making up for it so far. Ablegamers 2020 has been, I think, by far and away the most donation heavy that we've had yet. We are raising loads of money for a really awesome cause here, and it's all thanks to you guys listening and watching this stream right now.
And our goal is, of course, $5,000. Help us reach that, folks. We've got this game and one more afterwards. Let's really push the boat out here with the number of donations that we're getting in this game.
Looks like you guys have heard us. Neon's getting lots of donations now. Advanced power catalyst there. Absolutely brilliant. That's exactly what he needs. He's got loads of energy online now. All he needs is a bit more metal, and he's going to catch up with everybody else.
A little bit of an air engagement in the middle here. We've got Nick with his air units there floating around, being a bit pesky. We've got some bots coming in towards MarechalGryzzly's base there, being a bit of a nuisance again with these purges, ready to presumably jump towards the units, closing the gap very fast. They weren't quite there. Nick not on point with his micro, as he usually is. Interesting there. Neon now getting some orbital imperators, which is interesting to see. Meanwhile, the biggest thing happening at the moment, Grizzly is in orbit. He has gone to Hello Neighbor. He has got a Praetorian on Hello Neighbor, and he's got a teleporter and fabbers on the other side of Hello Neighbor. Meanwhile, no one else has got anything on any other planet. That is significant. We've got merely just a teleporter from Neon on the one with the laser.
Donations continuing to pour in for Neon. More construction units, more economy units, and he's building some storage as well just to help him to deliver on the economy without wasting any of it. And he's really been brought back into the game by your donations here, guys. Really, really strong stuff here. And he's been gifted a comet, which gives him the ability to move into the orbital layer whenever he sees it, that is.
It's a few things to really watch your attention on in this game. As we can see, Grizzly, he's expanding to the planets in the system. And he's also trying to do a little bit of raiding here with the bots and vehicles in this sort of crevassed enclave here. Nick gonna go and lock that down, but at the same time, Grizzly also expanding to the other enclave, having to defend that. A Praetorian coming in there, building a few point defenses there. And this is the real difficulty and challenge with PA. You've got to manage all of this very, very fast, and it takes time to do so. We've got a Vanguard in here from Neon in the middle of Nick's base. Nick running away a little bit there. Can he deal with this? That's the question. Neon being unbelievably aggressive for the first stage of this game. Nick needs some help, folks. He needs some orbital, like, imperators or some umbrellas. He needs your donations fast, otherwise this could be potentially the end of Nick at such an early point in this game.
He's not gone into the orbital layer at all just yet. Oh, no, take it back. There it is. He's just built some stuff in the orbital layer. Good. He needs to. I think he's going to need to get off this planet, because that Imperator is going to sweep in there very quickly and take out the orbital fabricator. If he doesn't get out of the way very soon indeed, that orbital fabricator needs to get off this world if he wants to build a teleport elsewhere and save himself. Nick has no presence anywhere else in the universe. I take it back.
And he's got some more. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, I've got to interrupt you there. We've got Diskraip pulling in on Nick as well from the northwest with quite a heavy force of units here. Nick trapped on one side. He needs to leg it. Looks like the Imperator was killed off, fortunately, which is a blessing for Nick. But now he has the other problem of more units rolling in.
He has a teleporter currently over on That's No Moon. He just needs to build a second teleporter here on Square One and escape his commander off the planet. And he needs to do so very, very soon. That orbital fabricator can build that in a jiffy, and it needs to do so. Those units just parked in his base, taking out all of his economy. Poor Nick is now the underdog. Who would have thought #1 ranked Uber player in the game is now the underdog and needs your help, support, and donations. Neon has had his fill.
I mean, Nick, he's going for that teleporter. He has to build it first, of course. Diskraip there, content to sit in the base with that large army. Nick, rushing against time. Where are his other... Neon getting 2 Praetorians in there as well. What is this?
I think that may have been a misclick.
Oh, that might have been a misclick.
That was supposed to be for Nick, I believe. That could have been absolutely devastating. That could have been game-ending stuff.
Lol, says Neon. Nick was not happy about that surprise. That was one surprise too far.
That's what was supposed to happen. Praetorian inbound. And he's going to try and get that off the planet as well, I think.
And a second one there.
Second one, he's going to try and put them through the teleporter if he's got any sense, because they're not going to be able to stand up to that. Or are they going to be able to do some damage? Not quite enough, though. The second one needs to get off planet, really.
off planet or build some defenses for sure.
One of the two.
That star cannon still shooting a few things down, just a little bit of support here and there. A little bit goes a long way, as the mums pocket the difference. Every little helps, as they say. But his commander is now on That's No Moon, where he has another star cannon. He does love his star cannons, does Nick? They build units very fast, and he's getting his commander straight into the air game, which will allow him to build airfabs and expand very, very fast on this planet.
Meanwhile, I wish to draw your attention over to Hello Neighbor. This has been a key planet so far in this tournament here, and our resident Frenchman, MarechalGryzzly, has had absolute unrivaled access to this planet. He has taken over all of the metal points at the tier 1 level, is moving on up to tier 2, and will begin expanding on the tier 2 economy very soon. And I expect to see his already significant metal advantage further cemented.
Yeah, we need some, maybe 5 Praetorians for Nick over on Hello Neighbor, and he'll, because of his skill in the game, he will really start to knock back Grizzly here. That's all it's going to take, 5 Praetorians for Nick on Hello Neighbor, and that should really knock Grizzly back. So if you're not a fan of the French, or if you're a fan of Nick, bring them on.
You can't say that.
Oh, I can, and I will. I'm British. I have my rights.
Alright, we've got some orbital confrontation over on the one with the laser. Nick has got a couple of Avengers kicking around and upsetting Diskraip's orbital play. His orbital fabricator is being taken out by a couple. Is that a single Avenger?
That's looks like 3,
oh,
4.
There's a few of them in there. Oh, they're Vipers, I should say, because they are after all the
Legion ones, yes. Chat, you see, chat is happy with my comments on the French. I've got some believers.
Support Marshal. Okay, right. So That's No Moon. Nick is starting again from scratch. He needs your help now, folks. He is on the back foot. Neon has absolutely given it to him after a very shaky start, or certainly a shaky start for his internet. He seems to have fully recovered and is being rather aggressive against his opponents now.
Yeah, there's a lot of red starting to grow across square one now. His Praetorians are doing great work in their expansions. He's got to do a little bit of locking down, though. Diskraip has an army coming in from the northeast. That could do some damage to this little enclave. Looks like Nick still is defending his base there, and Umbrella going up inside it from Diskraip, trying to move in. Do you like your neighbours moving into your house while you still kind of own it?
I had to say, it's not an experience I've had to go through just yet. I can't imagine it'd be very pleasant. These bots now going into the mighty, meaty Scorpions, which have got significantly more health and damage output, and they're going to chase away those bots there from Neon. In the meantime, Diskraip and Neon teaming up on Nick. That's the Umbrella from Diskraip taking out the Star Cannon, and he's now going to get punished for that. He's going to lose those fabricators, but the damage has been done there. Nick's main method of producing tier 2 units on this planet has been removed. He still has the teleporter. His bases are linked despite the physical distance between them. Those teleporters essentially mean that they are in the same place, and he can build units over on That's No Moon and send them through, unless of course he runs out of power, as he just has, and at which point the teleporter goes offline.
Diskraip's units there on the one with the laser, continuing to grow as a size of an army. Nick, though, does not have a presence on there. Grizzly with 3 teleporters on the South Pole there. I think he really wants to take that. Nick playing the democracy card there. Types it in chat. Grizzly has 2 planets, guys. Think about it. And yeah, he kind of does. He's got Hello Neighbor very much locked down. Nick does have a Star Cannon in production over there. His economy can't really handle it, though. That's the difficulty.
Oh, Hello Neighbor. Puppet Master gives Nick Colonels and Praetorians.
Oh, they answered the call. Well done, chat. That right there. If you can combine that, guys, if you can combine that with some advanced eco, that's a winner right there. Nick knows what to do. As long as he notices that that's a thing, he'll deal with that. But Nick is certainly playing the team democracy card here. Not democracy, sorry, diplomacy card. he's getting people to gang up on Grizzly, and you know, as history says, it works.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be. Oh, I can't make that joke. I was going to make a joke about the Napoleonic Wars, but that would have been a little bit too far there. Lots of donations now coming in from Nick on this planet. The economy that he desperately needs to support these Praetorians and these colonels, and he's now going to start doing stuff. Those donations have definitely registered on his radar now. He's seen the pings, he's seen the notifications. Look at them moving out. That coordinated effort there, building across the entire planet and destroying Grizzly's economy in the process. He needs it because Grizzly's economy so far is still more than double that of any of his opponents.
In fact, it looks like I was going to say there was a bit of an area patrol there, but that is Grizzly. I hadn't selected the units. You see what Nick is doing though? He's expanding to these metal sites. He's going to build up on them and possibly build some factories as well. And more units still coming in. Guys, well done. This is great. This is the way to fight Grizzly.
And this is why it's not just a tagline. You really do control the carnage. You guys have the power here. Chat, you have the ability to decide who wins this game through your donations. You are impacting this game in a significant way. Nick was out for the count, and now he's probably going to take this planet. Let's be real here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as long as he gets his eco in check, he needs a bit more power, needs a bit more energy. But once he gets that, he's fine. His economy is coming down on That's No Moon, and that should catapult his metal into big positive integers. Now it's a case of get that power. If he gets that power, then he really will start to do some damage here. He's lost a few of his Praetorians and Colonels. Maybe they got a little bit too greedy, too expansive. And it looks like a few of them are getting bombed into submission there. Unfortunately, Nick decided to run them away rather than build some defenses there. But if you guys can really support Nick's little enclave here, you know, he will not disappoint, knowing Nick. He really won't.
Nick has just shot into second place in economy. Load of power just appearing on That's No Moon for him. He now has That's No Moon on lockdown. Nick has his own planet at this point. I don't think he needs your support anymore now, guys. He's no longer poor Nick. He is now, uh-oh, here comes Nick. Very different guy.
It's a very different guy indeed. It should be noted, though, that Grizzly does have an orbital radar over on That's No Moon, so he can see where Nick's commander is. He can make moves to go and deal with that.
So what Nick?
Oh, and he's doing just that. There's a few SXX in the orbital layer. Oh wait, no, they're going to the stage. Where do you think they're going on the stage? Where can he see?
Square one. Where would they be going on square one? What can he see on square one?
Square one, that's correct, not stage. Yes.
Either way, let's find out. And they're just appearing over his base.
Ah.
Well.
Just a rehoming.
Okay, I was getting all excited there. I feel a bit disappointed. But we are at 19 minutes. We have 5 minutes left until game enders for big spenders start to come into play, where you guys can start donating some seriously meaty units.
Yeah, and
more donations pouring in for Nick. I never thought I'd see this. I did not think that the #1 ranked player in PA would be the one getting all the donations, but here we are, and he is he's pulling level with Grizzly in terms of his economy.
Yeah, and that's the big thing right there. So even though Hello Neighbor has 96 metal on it compared to That's No Moon 62, if that 96 is contested, there's not a lot of metal there to go around.
Over on Hello Neighbor, unfortunately, Grizzly seems to have noticed all your generosity that's been pouring down to that planet, and he has said no, Nick doesn't get to have an enclave here, and he has taken it out. However, I've just seen, I didn't spot this at first, Nick has actually managed to move on. He's built a second enclave all the way over there. So those units are just taken out. What Grizzly probably thinks is his only enclave. He doesn't actually see that Nick still has a significant presence on this planet. He doesn't know about that second base just yet.
He has that second base, and he has a colonel sat down on the other side of the planet as well. So Nick is going to be a little bit of a phantom on this planet.
A thorn in his side, I think, is more the expression here. So Grizzly has now, I think, stopped paying any attention whatsoever to square one. He's got all of his attention on removing the pest from Hello Neighbor. Just casually sat there with a few meteors, kicking out some drones to defend himself against the odd incursion by Neon. Neon is the one who's really pushing out on this planet right now. He doesn't seem to have much of a presence elsewhere in the solar system. Square one is where Neon is looking to make a home for himself.
And he's
But he
doing
still
a
has
quite
fight on his
good job
hands.
there. He's picking a fight with Grizzly up on the north, and he's coming in with his air, trying to take off the mothership, the Meteor there, which is a sort of T2 air unit of the Legion, which can be really quite potent. Again, it's an air layer drone carrier. But Neon here, really, as we said earlier, he really, I think he has potential in this game to come back big time.
These monstrosities you're seeing on the front line here are the tankiest units I think we have in the land arsenal. They can take a real beating. And that air just sweeping through, demolishing all of Grizzly's defensive air units. Donation for Diskraip. I haven't seen many donations for Diskraip so far. 2 Imperators on square one for Diskraip.
Those could be really quite potent there. Looks like they're routing direct south, due south. And Neon has some expansion down there. Looks like Diskraip is going and having a scout. He's sending out a few interceptors there, having a look. And he'll be sending those Imperators and units down there together. And that will support himself. And take out that expansion really quite nicely.
I do think Grizzly is going to be pushed off of this planet. I think all of the players have heeded Nick's warnings in the chat, and they're looking to move in and remove his eco from this planet. He's got 6 tier 2 metal extractors on here. Losing those is going to be a big hit to his economy.
Going to be a big hit indeed, but he can always deploy the same diplomatic tactics as Nick did. He can say, oi guys, Nick is actually really quite powerful, because he kind of is. In fairness, he's in second place, but MarechalGryzzly can, he can lie. He can try and commit subterfuge.
Grizzly is absolutely determined to lock down this planet. An Atlas Titan roaming at wild, I think is the expression, over on Hello Neighbor, and it's streaming towards the naval base that Nick has built inside the pond. Atlas Titans, of course, don't care about water. They can just charge on through, and this guy's going to go and cause some real problems for Nick's naval. We're about to watch this guy stomp all over his naval stuff.
But one, next time he should rear his head. There we go. Bang. And Nick is off.
Absolutely brutal. There we go, and that is the last of Nick's presence on Hello Neighbor. Eradicated. He now is relegated to That's No Moon.
Whoa, Neon, 560 boombots and 30 Phoenix together on Hello Neighbor.
Oh, outrageous. Let's hope he spots it quickly, because they're getting picked off at an alarming rate by the defending bots. He needs to notice those very quickly, because they are getting picked off.
Yeah, the horseflies are going to come in and chew through those, but the Phoenix, again, defending still. The boombots, if he moved all of those together, where is Grizzly's commander? Yes, it's in the middle of the base. He's got to get all the way there. He's got to find that commander in the first instance. And
it's just, I sat here watching these boombots. I want them to do something. These could do so much. I don't think he's noticed. Maybe his game's crashed again. Who knows?
Or maybe he was dancing. He's too busy dancing or making balance mods. Who knows? But he needs more donations to be able to notice his donations, folks. More and more stacked on top of each other until you can't notice the fact that there's a tower in front of your nose. That's how it works in this tournament. More for Neon. More for Neon.
Neon is still back down being the underdog again. Diskraip is really being quite aggressive now, pushing in and taking out as much of his expansion. Games freezer, says Neon. Let's pause. Okay, let's pause it then.
Yeah, let's pause. Now, it needs to be noted here. We were talking earlier about the fact that Grizzly still had the top eco and Nick was a little bit below. But Nick has actually caught up all the way to within 100 mechs in terms of metal input. And that's all from That's No Moon. And if we look there, we can quite see what he's got planned. He's got loads of Praetorians and Enforcers ready to go through a teleporter. Wonder where he's planning to invade, because that is an invasion army if I've ever seen one.
That it is, and if I were a betting man, I would bet that's probably destined for Hello Neighbor. He's absolutely got it in for Grizzly, as you've seen in the chat. I reckon he's looking to dislodge him from this planet and take Hello Neighbor all for himself. Hello Neighbor is the most metal-rich planet in the solar system, except for Square One. Square One, of course, is tough going. All the players start on Square One, so you've got a real uphill struggle. By comparison, Hello Neighbor tends to be a little bit easier, because all you have to do is take out one commander, one little snipe, and suddenly you have a whole planet to yourself. So I suspect that's what he's going to go for. Bearing in mind that Nick has got access to the Legion faction, I would suspect that there's a very good chance he could be going for a Comet or something of that nature. He also has access, if I'm not mistaken, to MLA through some kernels, so he can build the default units as well. He could also use a Helios Titan as a way of projecting that orbital force onto his opponents.
And also needs to be noted, speaking of Titans, we've reached the 25-minute mark in this game, folks. Not only have we reached the 25-minute mark, where your game enders for big spenders will be dropping in, we have also passed $3,000 of donations, which means we're only 2,000 away from our goal. Keep them coming. We have this and one more game to go. Let's make this an explosive 2 games, because there's a lot going on in this one, let's be fair.
There is a lot, and as I say, we have now reached the game enders for big spenders. Get your wallets out. Let's get some awesome stuff going on in this game. All 4 players still alive at the 25-minute mark. And I think that is the first time that's happened so far in this tournament. So you have got 4 players to choose from. You have Neon, the guy who started on the back foot, has struggled to keep up, but is absolutely determined to take on Square One. You have Grizzly, our French representative, who took on Hello Neighbor, has it all to himself, and has the eco to really take your donations and run with them.
Speaking of which, there's the Atlas just trawling through those boom bots, those poor little boom bots getting stimped on by the Atlas. It's a shame though. I mean, the Phoenix will survive because you can't stomp into the air. I mean, that really does break physics. But the booms, I think, if we had more booms spawn right now on top of that Atlas, it could do some pretty decent work. But Neon definitely needs some help.
So those are 2 of our players. Nick, the #1 ranked player in PA, should be able to do some awesome stuff with your donations if you see fit to donate to him.
Problem is, Neon is in a bit of trouble on Square One. Diskraip moving in with a sizable force here, actually, into a base that really doesn't have a huge amount going for it. Neon running his commander away. The mines are there, but most of the units are veering off to the south, and they can still take out the eco, take out some factories, and it's enough to scare a commander into retreat. And
has he got a teleporter to retreat into? I don't think he does.
It doesn't look like it, but he doesn't have anywhere else really to go. He doesn't have a presence on any other planet, so his teleporter would only go elsewhere on this planet, and I don't think he has enough of a comfortable grip on this planet to be teleporting his commander. You may as well just run it away and try and delay some units. But Neon really could do with a little bit of assistance here. His eco is the smallest. Some advanced metal extractors would go really well for him right now. And looking around, I reckon some horseflies too. Horseflies and Phoenix combo would allow him to raid a lot of Diskraip stuff on this planet.
Diskraip certainly has taken complete dominance of this planet now. There's only the remnants of Grizzly's base left on here, and at the moment it's just Diskraip and Neon going head to head in this. Diskraip has got a significant eco advantage. Little raiding force though coming in from Neon into the heart of one of Diskraip's bases, I should say. He hasn't got one base, he has multiple at this point. Taking on an army which I think will probably be just about big enough to wipe him out. But it's mostly tier 1 in there. I'm not sure, they've just about done it.
Oh, he's got a death mark in there, which is really interesting. It's a very slow firing unit, but essentially it one-shots lower health units. Like, as if they were paper. It's great.
So yes, it's Neon and Diskraip, guys. If you want either of them to win control of Square One, you know where to send your money. Meanwhile, in the Orbital game, the one with the laser... Oh, I hadn't even noticed this, Marshy. The one with the laser also belongs to Diskraip.
Yeah, Diskraip has that. That's where he's getting the rest of his economy from. He's up into 900 eco now. Nick and Grizzly, meanwhile, are still steaming ahead into +4 figures. But Diskraip here has enough to defend this planet should he decide to do so. And that means that if you want, you can send some catalysts to this guy, and he can probably do some real damage with them. He doesn't have the eco to build them himself at the moment, and he has got a lot to deal with in terms of the harassment. Neon coming in there. But if you pop up some catalysts, they will do one of two things. Either it will win him the game, or it will paint the biggest target on his forehead you can possibly imagine, and everyone will rush for this planet. If you want to see that sort of carnage, give him a catalyst and watch all 3 other players descend on this metal planet. It will be amazing.
I, for one, would absolutely love to see some Metal Planet action in this game. But so far, I don't think we've seen anyone even attempt to build a catalyst. I don't think we've seen any catalysts donated just yet. 5 catalysts, and this thing will kill every single other planet in the solar system in very quick succession. You can literally take out 3 of the 4 planets just by getting that catalyst online El Pronto. And I think, with your support, that is what Diskraip is aiming to do in this game.
Looking at Nick's base on That's No Moo Moo, he has so much stuff over here. He has so many units over here. He has so many units, it's pushing my pitch up beyond its natural levels. And he's not using it, which is so frustrating that it's pushing it all the way back down into frustration levels of weirdness. He could do a lot here, and there's a few units in the orbital space. There's a tier incoming from MarechalGryzzly to...
That's a commander snipe.
It's on top of the comm.
Get that comm through the teleporter now.
He's on the wrong side of it. He's on the wrong side of it.
Toast.
And again, we're going to see a mining laser kill on that commander. How unfortunate. Looks like those catalysts, folks, are just too late if you did send any. But that means that this planet is now open for the taking.
Indeed, Diskraip was the only player really in contention for this planet. Nick now has a small force cutting around. Is that a teleporter? He's just sent a... That's so unfortunate for Diskraip. Nick had also sent through a transport. So he's got a teleporter open on this base now, streaming an army in to kill a player who's no longer there. Comet has landed.
But that's amazing, because that means Nick gets free reign over this planet now. And I did see some fabricators. There's one there already. If that starts building a base, and Nick is microing this forward, there goes the Comet. If he starts building a base here, and knowing Nick, this could be a very deadly combination very, very quickly. Grizzly, though, still 600 metal ahead. Loads of nuke launchers now coming up from Grizzly. Nick and Neon really need your support. Neon is struggling. But with Diskraip out of the game, that gives Neon sole ownership of Square One. He can use this to great effect now. There's 118 mechs on there. If he gets expanding, he's going to have the biggest eco in this game.
We just had all the planets pass into a really neat little line again. Marshall, I know how much you love that. And Hello Neighbor scooting past ominously close to Square One. And Nick is back in the chat with his gunboat diplomacy.
I mean, is it going to work? Folks, we need your donations to get some dominoes rolling in the next part of this game. Neon has started building, ironically enough, a diplomat, which is the Legion version of the Halley engine. And he could do with a few more. If you donate a few more of those, he can send this planet smashing into any that he chooses.
Oh.
It will sacrifice himself. It seems like he's prepared to do that. But if you donate just 4, maybe 5, because it's going to take him a while to build this one. 5 of those, $50. I think I think it's $10. I forget the menu off the top of my head. It's not a lot, but it could do some damage in this game. Like a lot of damage in this game.
I'm intrigued as to what his strategy is here. He's behind an eco. He probably knows that. And what he's just done is painted a really big target on his forehead. Because when a player starts building an interplanetary engine of that nature, it automatically notifies all of the other players in the game, not only that you have started building one, but exactly where it is. So all of the other players can see where that single diplomat engine has been placed. Which means that he can be expecting very, very soon a large influx of orbital invasion. And indeed, if we look in the orbital space, looks to me that Grizzly has answered the call. There are 2 Titans in the orbital space right now.
two, three. There's two Helios and there's the tier as well. Looks like we're heading over to Nick's base, the Moon, or the That's No Moon. Where are the units going to come in? There's so much anti-orbital on this planet, though. Helios popping over where there's a little less. It's starting to lose some units. Nick has some units in the area. Can Grizzly drop enough units in time? Looks like he probably won't. Nick has enough air to focus that down, and he probably will do just that. A few umbrellas coming up for Neon on the square
very
one.
timely donations there over on square one. Whoever's dropped those in, what an amazing donation. That's to try and shield him from the wrath of those tiers in the orbital layer. Speaking of which, one now about to enter. That's no Moon. Where is it going to appear?
That's another Helios. There we go. Oh, over in an empty space.
Oh no!
My!
This is an excellent
danger.
Invasion from Grizzly if he chooses to open up that teleporter.
Neon's gonna need. Nick is gonna need a Zeus here to deal with this. The moment that teleporter pops up, but Grizzly's not noticed it. He's not noticed it.
Being focused down by those Tolas. Surface lasers firing up. Grizzly is going to lose that Helios before he has a chance to land any units.
Grizzly's tier went to the one with the laser. It's just roaming now. In case of any of these units from Nick, which are just streaming everywhere. He doesn't... What happened to his fabricator? Did it get taken? He's just not used it. It sat there. Nick is lacking attention.
And Nick's trying to do a lot of things on a lot of different planets, it seems. And you've got some more movement in the orbital layer. That's another Titan. That is a tier on the move in the orbital layer. 4 Imperatrices for Neon. Neon is still getting donations over in square one to try and bring him back on par with the other two players. Unless I'm mistaken, though, that tier is also destined for square one. I think I am mistaken, actually. I think that's going to the metal planet.
It's probably going back to the metal planet indeed, and Grizzly has dropped a radar on top of That's No Moon, and he can now see where Nick's commander is. He can see the amount of anti-orbital over it. But I tell you what he can also see is a large quantity of anti-nukes, so he also knows that nukes aren't going to necessarily be the thing that wins him this game. He does have 2 ready on the launch pad, and if he finds areas that aren't covered by anti-nuke launchers, he can use those to great effect. But my goodness me, look at the orbital space, Roncat.
It is absolutely crowded. What is all that? That is... Oh my goodness, those are Syzyxes. And he has just scouted where that commander is.
He's scouted where that commander is.
I wonder what's going to happen next.
There's so much going on in the orbital space. While this is happening, guys, give Neon 5 catalysts. If you give Neon 5 catalysts right now, seriously, Grizzly will kill off Neon, and Neon and Grizzly are so busy fighting each other that Nick and Grizzly are so busy fighting each other that Neon can just splat the winner of this fight between these two, and Neon could go into the final. Like that. That's all it needs. The units are coming in now.
The Syzyxes all got eliminated by this dense layer of Tolas, anti-orbital. So many anti-orbital lasers being fired now. The tier has arrived.
He's running away.
He's
not dealing with that.
He's not putting up with that. Those SXXs were all rinsed before they had a chance to fire, and the orbital battleships that followed up were not much better. Another tier has just been built for Grizzly. I think he's going to try and swarm his opponents with these tiers.
I tell you what, there's a nuke coming in from Grizzly ×2. That's probably just where he's just made a little bit of a dent. He hasn't been able to... Oh, he's launched them on top of the comm! Ooh, there was an anti-nuke there.
My word, that was close.
That was very close indeed. But Neon also now invading. He has his eyes on the metal planet.
So he does. And the metal planet is still very much contested at this point. No one has actually taken any decisive steps over it whatsoever, which is a shame because I would love to see some laser action.
Oh, look at all these fabs coming up on the south, though, from Nick. If he gets T2 air going, he can build those catalysts with his eco
very, very quickly.
Very quickly. So it's a case of, do you want Nick to build those catalysts, or do you want to give them to Neon instead?
The issue with Nick trying to build those, of course, with this amount of tiers floating around, and that's the tiers in the units, not the tiers of your enemies. This amount of tiers floating around in the solar system is that he's going to have to try and defend those catalysts from the orbital might of Grizzly, which is a big ask at this stage.
Talking about the might of Grizzly, the up-and-coming might of Neon. Last time we spoke about him, he was very much a fraction of the economy of the other two. And I did say if he expanded like wildfire on Square One, he would have a very big economy. He is now essentially rivaling Nick's economy on Square One.
Well, so
He's got
Nick
four
is...
nukes ready. You know, he's got 4 ready
Has
to
he?
go.
Oh,
Yeah, he was gifted 4 nukes. They're sat in his base. But there's unit cannons now. There's Helios ready from Grizzly all over on Hello Neighbor. Let's have a look around Hello Neighbor and see what else is happening on here, because it's quite interesting. Quite interesting.
So 4 nukes is a very interesting number here, because the anti-nuke launcher is able to contain 3 anti-nuke missiles. So by sending 4 nukes to any of your opponents, what you effectively do... Are those planes seen them? Those planes from Nick have just seen those nukes. Neon's having some more issues here. He's disconnecting, and we're going to reconnect, and we can pause there and assess. As I was in the middle of saying, 4 nukes is interesting because each anti-nuke launcher can only hold 3 anti-nuke missiles. Therefore, by launching 4 nukes at a target, you can ensure that 1 nuke will get through, because the anti-nuke just will not have the capacity to repel them.
And that forces your opponent, if they know that you've got more nukes than they have anti-nukes, or more build capability than they do, they're going to be building more anti-nukes. And you can build them all on top of each other. And then it's a case of, it really is an arms race in that case. More nukes, more anti-nukes, more nukes, more anti-nukes. And then someone comes in with a bunch of Orbital and says, no, I'm going to kill off all your anti-nukes, then launch the nukes, then unit cannons in on top. That's a perfect way to break a stalemate. Or, I tell you what, there's a few planets here with some Halleys as the option.
Are you watching these donations coming in?
I am. That's a
3 Zeuses for Nick on Hello Neighbor. That's a game changer right there. That on top of some Phoenixes as well. So they will all have been donated in the same space. When this game unpauses,
that will do a lot of damage.
We are going to see 3 Zeuses chomping through Grizzly's eco, and they're going to be supported by a significant quantity of Phoenixes. Here they come. This is where it's at.
Ping, 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 ping.
Those are the Phoenixes. Those are the Zeuses. The Phoenixes are there to try and defend the Zeuses from this anti-air. Lots of air fabs there lost for Grizzly.
And this is the thing, right? Nick knows how to use these as soon as he notices. I don't think he's noticed them yet, so he won't be microing. Grizzly, however, will be microing. The Zeus needs to be aware of what's going on. The Phoenix doing some really nice defense. Nick has now realized that the Zeus are there. He knows how to micro these guys effectively. Does Grizzly know how to counter micro Nick's micro? I don't know he does, but the Zeus is now...
The Phoenixes are gone. The Phoenixes have been destroyed.
The Phoenix are gone, and Grizzly there swamping the Zeus. But you can see just how much of an impact that can have. It doesn't look like it for those who aren't familiar with PA, but that showed a massive hole in Grizzly's defense. That was all of Grizzly's air that went for that, and he doesn't have much coming out of the other side. It looks like it, but a lot of those units are bombers. If we actually count his air units there, I drag a box over them, he now only has 58 basic interceptors. That's not many. On a planet that you own, that is not many, and it certainly is not enough to deal with another 2, 3 Zeus and Phoenix. Another set of donations like that, and it really will make...
I've just seen some tears on That's No Moon Moon. Absolutely eradicated by the strong orbital defenses. Is that a nuke? Was that a defensive nuke from Nick to take out those tears? I think it was. I think we just missed something there, Marshy.
I'll go have a look in ChronoCam.
30 seconds back. Wow! No, there was no nuke. There were just 3 tiers that got absolutely swarmed by Avengers.
Meanwhile, there is a lot of stuff happening in the orbital space. We have unit cannons from Grizzly being launched now, and we did have some Imperators from Nick on Hello Neighbor.
Those tiers were so close to Nick's commander. Thankfully, he seems to have it on a patrol.
2 nukes now launched from Grizzly. Everything's happening now, folks. Everything's kicking off. More donations, please, to make sure that we know what's going on here.
Where are these unit cannons landing? Are they landing on That's No Moon Moon? I think they might be.
They are landing on That's No Moon Moon. They know that there's a little bit of a hole in the defense there.
But how big is the hole?
Oh no, they're not
elsewhere.
landing there. They're landing elsewhere. Next to the commander, they are getting shot down though. There's enough umbrellas and tollers there to deal with that.
He's got a big ask on his hands to try and break through this hardened shell.
I tell you what, there's nukes incoming. There's nukes incoming on exactly that spot, and Nick's commander is in danger zone. If those nukes are going exactly where, I think it's going to be very close as to whether those nukes land within the anti-nuke range.
It depends on how well he scouted this, how well he's predicted. Looks like they're going to miss the commander.
One hits. Oh, the anti-nuke fires, but it was too slow. One hits, and that is big intel for Grizzly. He now knows exactly where he can make a beachhead, and so does Neon if he was paying attention. Nick has a hole in his armor. Guys, plug it with your donations, please.
That's a huge moment there. Got these nukes are starting to fly. Don't forget, Neon also still has these 4 nukes that he hasn't used yet. He's holding them off, waiting for some intel, and my goodness, look at the economy that's caught up now. Neon has his planet all to himself, and he has caught up. He is back in the offing for a potential win here. I almost counted him out earlier on, but he has absolutely clawed himself back.
Let's have a look at square one there. There's so much stuff going on. He's still building that diplomat, you know. It's just slow and steady. It hasn't drawn too much attention because people know that it's just slow and steady. 21 landmines on That's No Moon. And on other planets as well. What? Ooh, that's
Mine's
close
the Grizzly on That's No Moon.
Why not?
Why not indeed?
Why not?
Depends on whether he's got the intel to support it so he can see them.
Something else is happening though. Is it more landmines? It is more landmines. It's just being an absolute nuisance.
That is a troll donation if ever I saw one. Well done to whoever's dropped those in.
Give him a Ragnarok as well, why not? Thank you, says Nick. He can see them, I think.
I think he can see the pods landing, but he doesn't actually have the vision of the mines themselves.
I'm going to have a look in the orbital layer because there was so much happening. Neon now.
There's nukes. Nukes have been fired from Neon.
He's bombed 4 away. Where are they going to? This could be crucial, and it could be telling about the end of Nick. Neon did have some Imperator invasions going on.
I can't see where these nukes are going, Marshy.
They're either going to Hello Neighbor, or they're going to the one with the laser or the Moon. It looks like the Moon. And more units now. Or could it be trying to make a hole? I wonder if it's trying to make a hole. No, it can't be trying to make a hole. 4 nukes.
Neon has an orbital invasion happening over on the one with the laser. Maybe these nukes are in support of that.
No way.
No, they're not. They're going to That's No Moon. Where are they going to go? Incoming.
Near the commander. They will get shot down. They will get shot down. There's so many anti-nukes from Nick.
Wow. What a response. Did he manage to shoot down all of those? The Legion anti-nuke has 4 launchers in it. It has 4 rockets, the Legion anti-nuke. So it can indeed overwhelm those defenses.
Grizzly sending so many orbital radar now to try and see what is going on this planet. What can he do? He can't see a lot. He can see, though, that this side of the planet doesn't have a huge amount of anti-orbital. If he can, or at least anti-nukes, if he can just get a couple of nukes off elsewhere on this planet, he can make a really big dent.
There was a really lucky moment that just happened there, Marshall. So Nick's commander just kind of wandered right next to a patch of landmines there. Thankfully, a scout unit wandered past at just the right moment and illuminated the mines before the commander trod on them. But that was a very close call. He almost walked his commander straight into a patch of Grizzly's landmines on his planet.
So if we think about how many mines would take up this whole planet, how much would you reckon that would be in donations? If we had $50 worth of landmines on this planet...
I reckon that's a good third of the planet, $50. We'd probably cover a third of this planet in landmines. Unfortunately, he's now started including scout... Because he's seen the pods landing on his planet with nothing coming out of them. He's built some scout units now. And Grizzly has eyes on his commander once again.
Eyes on the comm. Grizzly has 1 nuke only on the launch pad ready. And he hasn't got... Oh, and 1 is away. 1 nuke is away.
He's just trying to wear down Nick's defences here. He does have the advantage here. He's got Hello Neighbor all to himself, a really metal-rich planet.
I reckon his nuke could probably go around there. That would take out a significant amount of anti-orbital, and it would open up a lovely spot for an invasion. Neon, though, in the orbital space now, making moves potentially to Hello Neighbor, and I think that's exactly what's going on. What is that? We've got... Oh, that's another orbital... Ooh, hello.
Neon now sadly floating quite
Grizzly,
a lot.
Grizzly nuking... Sorry. Grizzly just nuked Neon... Nick's entire orbital production.
No.
The one with the laser. The one
Is
with
that
the
where
laser.
that nuke went? What a clever nuke.
The one with the laser is, I reckon, it's going to be the linchpin that deals with this stalemate.
I think you're right. You know, all the other planets are locked down. Interestingly, though, Neon now is the guy to beat. He's got the eco. He's actually floating. He's not able to spend all the eco that he's earning. He is in the lead, owning the largest of the 3 planets. And the only thing keeping Nick's economy level pegging with these two is his presence on the one with the laser, but it is by no means an uncontested presence. He's still having to fight for this.
It needs to be said, though, Neon there doesn't have... I mean, he's got 111 fabricators, but I don't see them focusing anything down. If he pooled 111 fabricators, he could do so much damage. Imagine the number of nukes that you could fire off like that.
Have we seen any more progress on these diplomats? No, he's just
He's just content.
he's just sat there plugging away at just the one diplomat. That's a Ragnarok donation on the one with the laser for Nick.
That... Ooh, hello.
Someone
Oh.
doesn't want this laser to fire.
Neon is making an invasion, though. So, will Neon want this planet? Does Neon want this planet enough?
If he wants it, he's going to have to go and take out that Ragnarok El Pronto.
Ooh.
Oh no, Nick's deleted it. Nick's deleted the Ragnarok because he wants the planet. He knows he needs the planet. What a troll donation trying to delete half of Nick's economy.
You tried that last year. Yeah, I said earlier in one of the earlier games that last year someone had a Ragnarok gifted to them on their own planet. They didn't notice it was a thing until they blew up and their planet wasn't there anymore. And they were like, huh, I wouldn't know that. Nick, however, is a bit more on the ball.
Oh, that could have been very, very fun if he hadn't spotted that. But sadly, oh, nuke's inbound on the one with the laser. Oh,
it was sent on
nuke.
that Ragnarok. So Neon clearly wants this laser. He wants this oh, blimey, a nuke from Grizzly now against Neon. Blimey. You see, the planet with the laser, the one with the laser is the one to own, folks. $20 for a catalyst.
Grizzly
Choose
certainly
your
thinks so.
benefactor.
Grizzly has just built an Omega and he's put it into the one with the laser. Grizzly now contesting it. Contesting Neon's invasion. Nick is not going to be able to hold this planet down all to himself. And that means he's going to be at a disadvantage. Of the 3 players, he is the one with the smallest planet and will therefore have the smallest eco once he loses his foothold on this planet, which he looks almost certain to do. Both of these players now being very aggressive and pushing in, trying to take it for themselves. They all want to fire this laser, and I want someone to fire this laser. I really do.
I really do, and there's so much happening now. Everyone wants this planet. The question is, viewers, do you? Do you want this planet? Choose who you want the planet to be owned by. Meanwhile, let's have a look around the other ones. There's still so many units from Nick. He could make such a big invasion if only he has a foothold on Hello Neighbor. And there's a lot of empty space over here, actually, where Nick could make such a foothold. He just needs a couple of Helios, and there's so much empty space for an army to flood through. And he does have a lot of anti-air in that army.
Grizzly just reacted very well there, I should say. On the metal planet there, he was trying to build some air titans from space, and he had all of his orbital fabricators there doing so. A couple of imperators, though, from Nick came over, started attacking the fabricators. Grizzly wisely pulled them off planet so that they could no longer be attacked. He was losing a lot of fabricators there. This force from Neon now just pushing into the gap where Grizzly's invasion forces failed.
A lot of unit cannons coming in from Grizzly now onto that Snow Moon. I don't think they're going to get through. There's still too many umbrellas getting shot down straight away, and they'd be launching in the middle of an army anyway. That's unfortunate.
Donations of more mines.
More mines.
On That's No Moon. I absolutely love it.
Give him hell.
It's just a shame he's got those scout units in there now, because you can see them all before.
MarechalGryzzly gets 2 necromancers on That's No Moon.
Really?
Hello.
Oh, they are. Oh, it's unfortunate they've been placed so far away. Those boombots, though. Just...
Oh.
Wow, that was short-lived.
That's the power of the monstrosities there. Folks, donations need to be in quantity now to break this stalemate.
Neon, you're floating so hard. My goodness. He's got so much eco and he's not doing anything with it. Where is it all going? He's got so many fabricators. He needs to use them. Can we donate some extra APM for Neon, do you think?
I don't know. Does he need it? He doesn't seem to be doing a huge amount. Can someone give me Colonel, says Nick. Where? Where do you want your Colonel, sir?
Non-specific instructions.
I will win the game with just 1. Huh.
Well then. There's a challenge for you, folks. 1 Colonel apparently will end the game. I don't believe it personally, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. Meanwhile, Neon continues to get rid of all of Nick's stuff over on the
Neon just got a teleporter on Hello Neighbor. If Neon notices... Oh, it is getting shot by artillery. Oh, if only he noticed. Because there's a lot of units ready to go through a teleporter. They are!
Has he done it? Has he succeeded?
Oh no, they're going through a different teleporter.
But where to?
I'm guessing that's the one with the laser. It's the one with the laser that he's focusing on.
The one with the laser is now becoming the de facto battleground. All these armies being produced on each player's individual planets are actually duking it out on the surface here. This Gustav needs to get taken out by Neon's army here, because that is putting a big dent in him. Doesn't matter if they don't know, because Grizzly's army will come through and do the job afterwards anyway. Teleporter having just been donated on the one with the laser for Nick.
There's so much going on here. I love the fact that the one with the laser has turned into this like central skirmish while everyone else has a planet to their own name. Like it's great. I haven't seen this sort of play in a while on these orbital maps here.
I'm just waiting to see what a tier has just been completed. Yet another tier. The orbital production over on Hello Neighbor is just
4
insane.
Tiers. 5 tiers and loads of nukes. Look at the number of fabs around those nukes. Ooh.
That's a lot of nuclear missiles. My goodness.
But again, looking around Hello Neighbor, there's a lot of space here for people to make a foothold. I think Nick's right, you know, when he says give him a couple of things, and he can probably do some stuff with that. He has the economy to do it, for sure.
He's got the economy, but this is a very tough nut to crack. I can only see one potential spot. I'm just going to indicate that with a ping, if you can receive that on your end, as to where I think that any potential attacker on Hello Neighbor is going to have to go. But they have to scout to see this themselves.
So Nick has just been given his Colonel.
Has he?
Now he has to win the game.
All right, Nick. You've set yourself a lofty goal. There's your Colonel.
It's on. That's No Moon.
Show me what you got.
Show me the money. I think he wants to get back into MLA. I don't think he has much in the way of MLA production, which is why he wanted it.
Helios, I guess. He wants a Helios. That's my my best guess.
Yeah, he's going straight for the orbital launcher. Yeah, you're right. And look at this orbital movement here from...
Wow. Where's all that going? It's all going to... No, there's no way that's all going on to Hello Neighbor.
It is. It's all going on to Hello Neighbor.
Is he going to try and take out... But here's the thing. If he sends all that now to try and take those out, if they start moving before they get there, they're going to pass each other on the interplanetary space and not be able to attack each other. Looks like Hand of Code has possibly been the one who made that donation in the game. He says, good luck, Nick. Either way,
with the orbital fab.
Ask and you shall receive. Nick asked for a Colonel. He has it. He promised us a win. Let's see if he can deliver. That's the Avengers for Nick now arriving in the orbital space above Hello Neighbor. Grizzly quick to react, sending his entire orbital armada. Nick has, I think, wisely decided to pull out from that particular skirmish. Look at all of that orbital. That is absolutely outrageous. The tiers are on the move. The tiers are moving. The tiers have now left Hello Neighbor.
I'm just watching this orbital just fly. I've turned off all my UI elements and it looks pretty. It really, really does. The problem is though, we can't keep looking at that for too long. We can't keep stargazing. More units are coming in, but as you say, there's a lot of stuff happening in the orbital space. The tiers are going to That's No Moon, and Nick needs to be very careful with his commander. Catalysts are located. Neon is going for them at long last. He's started building one with a load of fabbers, and it's going up at a moderate pace. It's enough to give people chance to move in on it. But here come those tiers. There's 5 in the orbital space. 5, no less. Oh,
this is going to get very crunchy very soon, folks.
Ooh. Where are the other tiers going?
Oh, here are the catalysts. Come on. Are those tiers coming? The tiers are...
Tiers are going home. They're going home!
I think he was just moving them away from that attacking force from Nick. He wants to keep them and try and use them for something else.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And Grizzly here coming over with a few meteors, thinking about attacking this catalyst.
I think that would be a wise move. Those catalysts, as much as I want to see them fire, I know that none of the players are going to allow any of the others to do this without putting up a serious fight. All of them want the chance to have a place in this final.
Nick getting an advanced metal extractor on That's No Moon, further pumping his eco. He has fallen behind now, though. The other 2 players. Nick has the planet with the least amount of metal, so that is a nice move for him. Oh, my word. Neon has just made a boo-boo, if I may. He's moved his commander to the one with the laser next to where his catalyst is, next to where he just painted the biggest target imaginable. And Grizzly has possibly just seen it. He has. The meteors are turning back. They're coming in. Neon's commander needs to get back through that teleporter. I think he's going to try to. I think he realizes his mistake. Maybe it was a mistake. Oh my
Here comes
word.
the AA.
He's realized his mistake. His commander
I think
that was the biggest mistake he could possibly have made. Losing health now on his commander. Meteors focusing him down. The drones still weakening the commander over time. The teleporter also losing its health. But there's flak there now. It's doing a lot of damage to all the drones and all of the meteors. There's... It's going so...
Just get through.
What's going on? The teleporter's going to go down, surely. It goes down. The commander's
still standing. He's still got 40% health. These meteors have just not got the alpha output damage. They're damaging him over time, but they have no direct fire capabilities. All they can do is launch these drones, which are being taken out by the flak.
And more flak coming up. It's a case of, can Grizzly finish off Neon right here, right now? This was one of the biggest blunders in Neon's playbook. Now, this is why you don't spend all your time writing balance mods and do play other people's balance mods, because this right here is a misplay.
Thankfully, it was a misplay on both of their parts. Thankfully, Grizzly only had these meteors nearby. Otherwise, that commander would definitely be dead right now, rather than fighting for his life as he's currently doing, down to 30%, 20% health. The drones are still in play. The meteors are still there.
They're tanky, and Neon, in the meantime, has been given a catalyst as a gift. He now needs to get... It should also be said, as Dissonant points out in chat, meteors cost metal for every drone they produce. Grizzly's eco that whole time was in the red because he was just producing so many drones that were not helping. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, Nick has some T2 air, potentially there for the T2 fabs. Meanwhile, Neon pushing into Grizzly's little enclave. There's a teleporter there that is probably going to be focused down now to prevent any reinforcements. Let's have a quick look around the rest of the system, though, because we've been focused on Neon's blunder for a while. Nick seems to still have integrity on That's No Moon. Meanwhile, over on Hello Neighbor, Nick there with Imperators and the Orbital over a little bit of a gap, and it looks like he's made something of a little inroad. There's units on the ground for Nick. he has an opportunity here to make things happen.
Unfortunately, he's got these fabricators here being picked off by... well, these must be Hulkins being picked off by Hulkins at range. He's got 4, 5... I can't even count. 6. There are 6. I shouldn't count these things. 6 orbital fabricators for Nick on Hello Neighbor. He could be building things like teleporters, defenses, shields. But unfortunately, that Hulkins has just gone in there and taken out the whole bunch. What is he doing instead that's taking all of his attention? He has made a comfortable dent in Grizzly's eco, though. This little attack here has wiped out a large number of metal extractors. Nuke in the air has just been launched by Grizzly into the orbital space. Nuke from Neon as well, also launched into the orbital space.
There's a lot of nukes flying left, right, and center. Neon's base on the one with the laser got nuked almost as soon as his commander got through the teleporter, so he was very lucky there. But more nukes keep flying. Grizzly's planet there, so exposed for the weak shell that it is. Nick running away with his orbital, as one would expect. Neon and Grizzly nuking that one with the laser. What don't they like about it?
I think all of the players want control of this, and they certainly don't want Neon to take control of another metal-rich planet. Not least of which it also has the catalysts. But Neon's nuking. Neon's nuking. Okay.
All right.
Grizzly forces. Yeah. I mean, he killed some stuff, but he spent a lot more metal on that nuke than what he's managed to kill with it, I think. Not the most effective nuke I've seen so far this game. Neon maybe needs your help more than others, folks. Even though he's in the lead in the economic game. Oh wow, Nick's just appeared and decided he doesn't like that catalyst.
Which is fair. Folks, if you're going to donate catalysts, you got to donate a whole bunch at once, because then you can instantly fire the Metal Planet Super Laser. You just need 5 of them, and we can
Oh,
win,
the tears have arrived.
this
Nick's
game.
got some tears in play as well now. Where is that commander, Neon? Where have you put your commander? Is he back safely on square one again?
Neon's commander is on square one, correct.
Good. That's good.
Nick's commander still on That's No Moon, flanked by a load of units and less anti-orbital, actually. It looks like he's lost a few things over there from just constant invasion. And as you say, that Helios, as you predicted, is still being built. It will produce a big aperture for a lot of units to flow through into Grizzly or Neon's base. And neither of them have super shored up defenses here. If we just look at square one, it's such a massive radius planet. 750 radius is a large planet to cover for defenses. And he can send that Helios Orbital Titan with its teleporter built in to an empty area on this and just send all of his units through with relative impunity, because Neon doesn't have the anti-orbital capability to swamp in just like Grizzly does on his planet with all of these Avengers.
I'm intrigued to see how these players are going to break this stalemate. Helios is the one to go for Nick. I don't see the other players having a large enough ground force to really make that approach work.
Nick has a couple of comets going around. Could be making a play here. One going to Hello Neighbor and the other... Oh no, both going to Hello Neighbor. Both of them. And he's got tiers there now too. He's got some anti-orbital units there, but it's not going to be enough to deal with all of the Avengers. Have we got comets going to land beneath these tiers? The thing is, tiers do friendly damage. So you got to be careful with what you do with your units with the tier beam. So much anti-orbital, it's ridiculous. The tier's gone.
Oh goodness.
Zap.
Oh, noise is happening. That must be a Ragnarok.
It is.
Neon has had a Ragnarok donated to him on square one. Ha ha ha.
Well, with
Will he
Neon's,
notice?
with Neon's track record of not noticing stuff, this could... ooh.
Come on, will he notice this late?
He might be able to hear it. Ooh. And Neon has actually got so much in the orbital space, and he's making an invasion right now. Does he have the attention to be able to cope with all of this? His unit's now just arriving at Hello Neighbor, but are they going to be making the damage when his Ragnarok there?
There's no way he's not going to see this or hear it. Bearing in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this sound can be heard all the way throughout the solar system. Every player can hear the noise of something large and explodey happening.
And it's live. It's live.
Has he noticed
it? Neon has not noticed.
He's still got time to delete it if he hasn't noticed it.
He's got 2 seconds. 1 and Neon is out of this game.
The Ragnarok.
His commander is still on the planet. Neon is dead. Gone. F's in chat, please, for paying respects. F's to pay respects. It's gone. And Hello Neighbor gets a nice view of that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Hello Neighbor absolutely getting roasted by bits of flying planet there as well. Look at that.
Woohoo. Goodbye, Neon. And quite a spectacular fashion as well.
Wow. Well, from a very shaky start, Neon was looking incredibly dangerous there. I think he had the ability to push that. Unfortunately, some sneaky, nefarious viewer has decided that Neon doesn't get to survive. Neon is now out of the tournament, and it's between Nick and Grizzly as to who makes it into our Ablegamers final.
Sneaky, nefarious, but also a legend. Nick now, though, making the plays again into Hello Neighbor, trying desperately to break this stalemate. He has Imperators above the anti-nukes. They're getting swatted straight away. He's just not getting where he needs to. More units coming in again. Where are they landing this time? Somewhere else. They found the commander. The Imperators have found the commander. He's next to 2 teleporters. The Imperators are focusing down that commander. That could be it. The commander could well get through that teleporter. It's going to be very, very close. Nick is not microing that. He's gone through the teleporter. I'm going to laugh if the teleporter's linked to the other one just to the north. It's not. Grizzly gets away by the skin of his teeth there.
Absolutely outrageous. How many of those have we seen in this tournament, Marshall? So many commanders just park next to teleporters, ready to run away when someone parks some big, nasty spaceships above their head.
I mean, I don't like spaceships above my head. I don't know about you.
No, I mean, I think I'd be a little upset with it. Oh, that was close. Where did that commander go?
Somewhere else in the base. There's nowhere else for it to go. It can't go to That's No Moon, and there's no teleporter on.
Lots of nukes still ready. Lots of nukes still ready for Grizzly there. He has got them poised, ready to fire as soon as he figures out where Nick's commander is. The one with the laser now looking very empty.
Yeah, the one with the laser, as you say, is so empty. Give it a laser. Give it 5 catalysts, folks. 5 catalysts. And this game will be done, and we will be into the final round.
I think Nick's the one in the position here to really take advantage of the laser. Weaker economy certainly, but he has a foothold there. And he's got the ability to build up the eco and get those lasers built.
Nick's commander is being shoved by a swarm of enforcers. Seems like he's broken the law somewhere if he's getting swarmed by enforcers. That's...
Oh my goodness.
A lot.
That's a lot of anti-air. I don't think an air attack on the commander is going to work right now.
These players really are neck and neck. The army counts, the Faber counts, the factory counts. The only thing that's different is about 500 mechs. Nick's struggling a little bit for that metal. Grizzly, again, coming in with a bit of intel.
It's interesting now because we have the #1 ranked player in PA, 1v1 ranked player, versus what I believe to be one of the best free-for-all players in the game. But we're now in a 1v1 situation with the other 2 players having been eliminated. Grizzly does have the lead here. He has got the bigger planet, the bigger eco, significant amounts of orbital production, 4 nukes waiting in the wings. But does he have the killer instinct to take out an opponent in 1v1 battle? Or
he doesn't have the army to do it.
Does he need the chat's support, donations, generosity? I think that's exactly what it is. Tears on the move. Tears on the move from Grizzly.
It's a case of can they survive the umbrellas? They found that commander. Can they survive that many umbrellas as they push in? We'll have to wait and find out.
In the immediate vicinity of the commander, if I'm not mistaken, there's actually not a huge number of umbrellas, unless I'm looking at the wrong swarm. I am looking at the wrong swarm. That's the teleporter swarm. There's the commander swarm. Oh, that's a lot of umbrellas.
Oh,
they haven't parked themselves directly over the commander. They've missed. The Avengers have got there first. Rather than soaking up damage for the tiers, which I think was the intention there, they have instead just volunteered themselves as sacrificial lambs. Meanwhile, a fresh patch of Imperators has just been
Nukes coming
built.
in as well.
Nuke shot down.
Anti-nuked.
Second gone.
Anti-nuked. Tiers. On top. On top. Everything. On top there. They're going to get shot down, but the lasers are going to start... Oh, look at all of those units. The rockets straight into orbit. My word!
He's just dropping those tiers on top of Nick's base. I think that was the intention there. Put a hole in his base, which is exactly what he's done. Commander's running away.
That's an incredible number of orb weavers. I think was it the orb weavers that did that, or was it the panzers? I think the panzers are the ones with the anti-orbital. But still, it's such an impressive mix from Nick here.
These commanders are both absolutely locked down.
We keep saying it. The one with the laser is gonna decide this game, folks. The one with the laser. The one with the laser. 5 catalysts. Go. Do. Zappity zap.
I would really love to see a Ragnarok fire in this game. That's what we really want. I think that's what everyone in the chat would like to see as well. If anyone hasn't seen... Oh, I suspect there are a few people who have not played this game or seen this game before, given the sale on. If you have not seen one of these catalyst lasers firing, it is truly a sight to behold. It is absolutely worth every cent. Bearing in mind, of course, for those folks joining us fresh, there are probably a few of you, every cent donated today goes directly to the Ablegamers charity. There's a Halion, that's no Moon. For Nick.
Ah.
For Nick?
For Nick. It makes sense. Yes. If the Halley gets launched at Hello Neighbor...
Squeeze one of those in, they're huge. There's no space.
If he gets 4 more and sends this planet over to Hello Neighbor and gets all of his units off this planet, he's building them rapidly, and he's building them around his anti-nukes and all of his anti-orbital, and Gryzzly is busy nuking the other planet.
Oh, this could be it. I think that Halley donation has at least inspired Nick to try and find a way to finally break this stalemate. I think his intention now is to move his commander to the metal planet. Look how quickly those are being built. He's going to move his commander through onto the one with the laser, and he's going to fling this moon into Hello Neighbor, destroying Gryzzly and his commander. Unless Gryzzly can also get his commander onto the metal planet in time.
And that really would,
which would be absolutely hilarious.
Game.
Then you'd have all of these planets, all of this fighting, they'd both be back to square
Nick
one.
With the big invasions on Hello Neighbor, though, he's doing 2 things at once. And Gryzzly also building Halleys on Hello Neighbor. Who's going to smash who here?
Gryzzly has got the superior economy here, but these fabricators are perilously close to getting inside of the range of this attacking force. And they're going to start getting picked off.
Explosions abound everywhere. We can still see the charred remains of where Neon's boombots lay dormant. But all the orbital now congregating around all of these imperators. The tiers have arrived. Diplomats still ready. We on our last diplomat now. We are building our last diplomat for Nick. He's almost ready. Is his commander ready by a teleporter to get off world? The thing is, I don't think he should launch this yet because he hasn't got the ability to ensure and guarantee that he won't just get nuked and invaded when he moves to the one with the laser. He doesn't have it. But it depends. Can he ensure a kill on Gryzzly?
Gryzzly has just taken out all of the air fabricators for Nick over on the one with the laser. So by locking down the one with the laser, he's actually... The planet's in motion! The planet's in motion!
It's in motion. Loads of stuff is still coming to it. No, they're not. They're not. They're going to the metal planet. Gryzzly is going to try and move. All the orbital fabbers are going over there. He's definitely trying to get teleporters up. Gryzzly's commander is on the metal planet. The planet's smashing the wrong cut. Gryzzly's over there with his entire army. Where's Nick? Is Nick moving?
Nick's commander?
Nick's commander is still on the one with the moon.
Nick's teleporter got destroyed. Nick's finally got his teleporter. Nick has got a teleporter on the metal planet. He needs to get his commander through there as soon as possible.
His commander is going through there now. It's going now. Everything from Grizzly is on the move. Look at this planet. It's empty. It's empty. Have you seen that all game? No.
Where's the commander? There's the commander through. Both of their commanders are on the metal planet.
Both commanders are
They're both going to be on the metal planet. Oh, Nick thinks he's won, but he hasn't.
My God.
The game goes on. We are down to a single planet. This is absolutely unbelievable.
This is
All
the
of this
name of
fighting,
the
we're back to
game.
square one. Grizzly has no metal income whatsoever. Nick at least has 164 at this stage. But he's got 2 tiers. Grizzly's got 2 tiers, and it's coming across Nikola's commander. Has he got any anti-orbital?
No,
Has he got enough?
he hasn't. He has. He's got some. It's got enough.
Is it enough? Is it going to have to kill it off?
It's going to be.
He's got enough. He's killed it. But is it going to land? Where's it going to land? Where is that going to land? The commander's stood still. He's going to take some damage when that lands.
It won't kill him, but it certainly could damage the army. Don't move back towards it, you plums. Don't do it.
Oh, I think he survived. There's a second tier. The second tier is coming.
Oh. Nick
He's chasing it with the
boo-boo.
battleships. The orbital battleships chasing it, hot on its heels. Is he got enough?
He's not going to get there in time, I don't think. There's more orbital battleships. There's the
just
equivalent
about
of the
good enough
Artemis
to kill
coming
it.
in as well.
He's just about good enough to kill that, but only just.
Only, wow. And
This
now,
is absolutely ridiculous. Look at all the build power Grizzly has in orbit, but he's just not got the eco to support it. Grizzly has got all of these imperators as well.
Guys-
Nick has got to fight for his survival here. Guys, donate to Nick. Any anti-orbital you have right now for Nick, he will survive if you can donate it. Go,
like
right now.
a Thor and a Zeus, like seriously, any donations will swing this game big time now. Like before it was about building a stalemate. Now it's about who can kill who first. That is what it's about now. Can you make it happen for your desired? Like catalysts now are pointless. Don't bother donating them. Just donate. I don't know. Like donate 500 boombots to one of the players. Like seriously, 500 boombots. Done. Go. Like, wouldn't that just be the most BM after the most intense interplanetary fight to be killed by a swarm of boombots? Make it happen, folks. What is this game?
Grizzly still has an orbital titan. He's got orbital battleships. He's got Sisyxes in there trying to kill off what's left of Nick. Nick's got the eco. He hasn't got the factories. He's desperately trying to get anything, some sort of saving grace. He's currently building eco with these fabricators, but I don't know what he's building it for. He can't spend it. He's got nothing to spend his eco on.
This is quite intense. I'm gonna get a picture-in-picture of both of these commanders because I'm gonna track them.
We've essentially, Marshall, come down to a 1v1 ranked game, which is exactly where Nick, in theory,
Shines
should
the
excel,
brightest.
but he is up against it. Grizzly brought his entire orbital armada with him. He's on the back foot here. This is not a fair game. Not that it was ever supposed to be fair. This is the Ablegamers. But there's a
100
mega...
boombots coming for Nick.
Here they come. Here come the Imperators again. Now the commander is in a lot of trouble. Imperators are on Imperators. But we've got a large Avenger force there. Nick's Imperators are not going to be able to stand up to this. And we're having drones fighting drones on the ground.
A donation
Nick's
comes
got
in.
a nuke!
It's
Nick has a
a nuke! Oh my word! It's a nuke and 400 boombots. The nuke will be defensive, guaranteed. That's it. Nick could win this
Defensive
game.
boombots. Yes, that's what we needed to see.
Ooh, and those boombots will also get Nick's commander
Is it
out
gonna
of
be a comm
dodge.
snipe? Are we going to get a boombot comm snipe? Are we going to finish off this massive interplanetary stalemate?
He's
with a
scouting
boombot
with
comm
Novas.
snipe?
He sees the commander. He knows where his boombots need to go. And there's no anti-ground. There's not enough anti-ground to deal with these booms. As long as he keeps them all together. The
There
nuke.
goes
What's
the
he doing
nuke.
with the nuke? The nuke is going to the commander. It's going to... Oh my
The commander is
word.
at full health though. The commander is going to survive this nuke.
That's
but
fine,
it's
but
going
it'll
to
take
damage him
out
with the
all the other
booms.
units. It'll take out all the other units with him,
They're
though.
all
Nick.
anti-air units.
It doesn't... What?
Here it comes.
Here they come.
That commander is going to be inside of that blast radius.
It's gone. That's it. After
Nick
all
wins
this...
with a boombot snipe. No way.
I don't believe it.
Oh my word. Those donations at the end there won that game for Nick. Guys,
You control the carnage.
absolutely controlled that game. Wow. That was, I don't think I'm exaggerating to say that was the single most intense game of Ablegamers that we have ever seen in Planetary Annihilation history. That was absolutely outstanding. I have never seen anything like that before.
That really, really was absolutely ridiculous. Here, we're watching it again. The nuke. The booms over the horizon. The nuke there, injuring the commander. The booms there. Here they come.
Nick has just chimed up in the Twitch chat to say, shout out to my housemate Emil, to whom I owe the last nuke. Bro, I love you, he says.
Let's get talking to those players in chat.
Let's get in there.
Oh, wow. Bait. Guys.
Wow, that was something.
Guys.
That was really quite something. I mean, I don't know where to start on the post game for this. First off, let's go to Diskraip. Diskraip, how did you find your early departure from that particular game? Okay, Diskraip, maybe his microphone isn't enabled. Fine, Grizzly. So that turned very quickly from a free-for-all into a 1v1 with the departure there. How did you find that transition?
Oh, it was very hard. I had to always redo eco, and again eco because they were destroying all my metal. So I was always in pain and I couldn't really do stuff until I get okay, but it was very hard. So nice.
But you escaped to the metal planet there with a considerable advantage in the orbital space. You had all of those orbital titans kicking around there, and there was just those donations.
Yeah, they were killed by his units, his ground units destroyed them, and then I couldn't run to him with my orbital. So I wanted to rush at this, but we had like 0 metal, so it was hard to do this.
Yeah, I think so. Let's just talk through. So Nick, you clearly launched your moon at Grizzly, thinking that his commander was going to be over there on Hello Neighbor, but it wasn't. It was over on the metal planet. How did you find that?
I knew he would do that. I knew he's a competent enough player to immediately evacuate. Which is why I tried to move my entire army with my commander. The thing is, I realized very, very late that my commander was messed up with a teleporter and I was about to crush myself with my commander on board. So in the rush, I couldn't transport my entire army. And then the final standoff began. And that has to be the most intense 2 minutes of my entire life so far.
And that last minute donation there, the boom bots and the nuke, they were just absolutely outstanding, weren't they?
Oh, I wanna give a huge shout out to my housemate Emil who gave me that nuke. Man, like, yeah, he's standing behind me right now. You're fucking the best, man. but also, I think it's really important that whoever gave me the boombots, I have no idea who that was, but I love you too. If it wasn't for you two, this game
gives you the reason.
And this is it. We were saying it's not a fair fight, but then this is the Ablegamers tournament. It's never a fair fight. Guys, you've been absolutely tremendous sports. That was a very long, very grueling game. Nick, you took the victory there at the end with some outstanding use of some really amazingly timed donations. Thank you to all of you for participating. Diskraip, Neon is not able to be seen at the moment. I can't find him in the Discord, but again, to all of you for taking part and for helping us to raise money for this awesome charity. Thank you all so much. Nick, I guess we'll be seeing you again very shortly. So for the rest of you guys, thank you very much, and we will see you around the houses.